Hello everyone, a very warm good evening to all of you. Welcome, good evening Nitin, good evening Ajay. So I hope you all are good and are basically revising things and covering all the topics that you feel are uncovered, are left, and making a balance of everything, right? Revision as well as the new topics. So in this particular session, being Wednesday, we will be taking the government schemes. That will be a revision for you, analyzing them, understanding them, and basically taking it in a very comprehensive manner, so that even if you want to write it in your, some schemes are there that you can mention in your social issues also. While you are writing an answer, you can in a descriptive, in your answer skillings, you can show that you know certain points, you know schemes, you are very well aware of certain facts that you can mention, showing that definitely it will help you in enhancing your answers, right? It will help the examiner show that you know, right? So without taking any much more time, I'll simply start with the very first government scheme of today's lecture. But before that, I hope that let us wait for a minute or so. If anybody else want to join, they can join. Meanwhile, please like the session and mark your attendance by liking that. And in the chat section, please give me a thumbs up sign again also if audio and video are clear to you. Very good evening, Manish. Please share the session with your other friends, so that if anybody else want to basically cover the government schemes, they can. See, government scheme is such a topic that is important for any exam, whether it is Nabard, whether it is RBI, if you're preparing for UPSC, any exam, government schemes are important. And but the only difference is the nature, the type of questions being asked, right? Okay, fine. If it all things are clear, so let me start with the very first government scheme of today's lecture. So let us have a look. Just give me a second. Okay, it's a thumbs up sign from Devendra as well. So today's lecture will be the schemes that are dealing with the Ministry of Food Processing Industry. Right. So in this particular session, I'll be taking certain schemes that are associated with Ministry of Food Processing Industry. Without, basically, before going through all the schemes, let me give you an idea of today's lecture, so that you will be it will be very easy for you to link the schemes. So in this particular session, mainly our schemes will be having a tilt towards the food sector, food processing sector, how you can basically upgrade the micro food processing enterprises, whether they are in rural areas or any other where. So the main purpose of all these schemes are indirectly or directly to give them assistance, to provide them financial support, technical support, upgrading them, giving them skills that are required, marketing, packaging, and transitioning from unorganized to the formal sector. What extra research and development activities can help the food processing enterprises. So all in all, each and every single scheme, directly or indirectly, will lead you to provide some kind of assistance to the food processing enterprises. So that is why you will find a similarity between all the schemes, but the main idea, the heading, you can say, the main purpose, the agenda is same, but one way or the other, we are, you can say, with different schemes we are covering different objectives, different basically you can say, एक food processing enterprise को mind में रखते हुए, अगर मैं किसी scheme में I am giving a more tilt toward technical support, in other scheme I am giving more tilt towards making it into formal sector, in third scheme I am giving it a more tilt towards helping the enterprises in rural areas. So in that manner things get changed, but the agenda behind every scheme is related to food processing enterprises. So this much is the basic concept that is related with all the schemes. And the second most important point for today's lecture is that in the Ministry of Food Processing Industries, because most of the schemes are basically dealing with the food processing industry, that is why I'll not again and again repeat as Ministry of Food Processing, Ministry of Food Processing Industry. I'll simply refer to it as Food Processing Ministry, so that now with every second or third scheme you will be easily to catch it with the point that I'm talking ki theek hai bhai ye Ministry, Food Processing Ministry means Ministry of Food Processing and Food Processing Industry, right? So let us have a look over the very first government scheme that is in front of you. Good evening. So yeah, so first scheme is there that is talking about the formalization of micro food processing enterprises scheme, PMFME, right? PM, formalization of micro food processing enterprises. So this particular scheme deals with simply providing support. किसको सपोर्ट देना है? Providing support to micro food processing enterprises. This is the point. In what kind of support you can provide? So under the scheme says that let us provide support to these micro food processing enterprises by providing them the financial assistance, technical help that they require, business support, and for what purpose? For upgradation of these existing enterprises. So the objective behind this particular scheme is so that you increase the revenue of that enterprise, you help them increase their basically they are able to get the finance that are required by these units, you are able to strengthen their support systems, and you are able to also focus on the women entrepreneurs at the same point of time in aspirational districts, and also on the minor forest produce in the tribal districts. So whole sole purpose is to ensure that you are providing such a support to all these micro food processing enterprises so that they upgrade themselves, right? So basically you can say if they need to enhance, if they need to enhance their food quality, safety standards, so all these points are taken into concern, and every kind of support directly or indirectly is being provided under this scheme. For which sector? For the micro food processing enterprises. This particular scheme was launched in 2020 and the ministry associated is Food Processing Ministry, right? Moving to the implementation part of this. So this particular scheme will be implemented over a 5-year period. So it started 2020 and then it is, as it is for 5-year period, then it goes to till 2025, right? 2024 to 2025. So there will be 2 lakh micro enterprises that are to be assisted by the credit linked subsidy. The state government will, you can say, there will be a portal for the online registration, and being a centrally sponsored scheme, it is helping the unorganized sector on all India basis. Outlay kitna hai? 10,000 crore ka outlay hai. The expenditure, as it is a centrally sponsored scheme, therefore the expenditure is being shared by the government of India as well as states. In what ratio? The ratio is 60 to 40. So all these schemes of today's lecture directly or indirectly deal with this particular part only. So कोई ऐसी कुछ मतलब not a tough one, बहुत easy है. You can learn it in this particular session only. They are only in this 40 to 45 minutes class. As you all know that our approach is one district, one product. हर एक district की अपनी एक, you can say they have their प्रोडक्ट, राइट? एक स्पेशलिटी होती है इन सर्टेन डिस्ट्रिक्ट. कोई डिस्ट्रिक्ट अपने किसी प्रोडक्ट के लिए फेमस होती है, खास है, एंड सर्टेन अदर डिस्ट्रिक्ट इज वेरी फेमस फॉर सर्टेन अदर टाइप ऑफ प्रोडक्ट. So the scheme also adopts this approach कि let us reap the benefit of the scale in terms of कि आपका जो वहाँ का famous product है, what kind of inputs you want, what kind of availing services are there, how much more services can be added, how basically the marketing of products can be done. So all these things are adopted in this scheme, and the assistance is provided by various institutions. Like here you can see Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology and even the National Institute of Food Technology Entrepreneurship and Management, the state support. All this support is indirectly or directly giving them the product. उनके product को develop कर रहे हैं, ट्रेनिंग दे रहे हैं, appropriate packaging, marketing, machinery, assistance, every kind of support is being given. So can you please tell me when was this scheme launched? In which year? In which year the scheme was launched? Please write it down in the chat section. In which particular year this particular scheme, PM Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises, was launched? Only 2 answers. What about others? If you want to make a guess, you can. I have just discussed key what is the basically 2020. Okay, 3 answers. Okay, 2020 is absolutely the right answer. Can you please tell me, is it a central sector scheme or centrally sponsored scheme? Is this scheme a centrally sector scheme or is this scheme a centrally sponsored scheme? Manish, Devendra, Rakesh, Shubham, HJ, everyone has given the answer 2020. 2020 is absolutely the right one. My next question to you is this scheme a centrally sector scheme or a centrally sponsored scheme? Received 1 answer. What about others? Sector scheme or sponsored scheme? Centrally? Hurry up, write down your answers. Nitish has given an answer. Manish, Devendra, Rakesh, what about you, Shubham? Centrally sponsored. Yes, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. It is not a central sector scheme. It is a central sponsored scheme where the expenditure is being shared between the government of India and state in ratio that is 60:40. Okay, my next question to you is the scheme is being implemented for how many, you can say, for how many years? 4 years, 5 years, 6 years? The scheme is basically for how many years? 5 years. So 5 years is absolutely the right answer. This much is the bare minimum information that you need to take away और इसको याद भी रखना है, right? It is a centrally sponsored scheme with an implementation period of 5 years and launched back in 2020, right? Moving to the next part. Next scheme, basically the next scheme that you are seeing in front of you is Gram Samriddhi Yojana. Gram means rural area, Gram means village, right? So Gram Samriddhi, अब Gram में villages में rural areas में कैसे समृद्धि लानी है? As this scheme is basically under the Ministry of Food Processing Industry, we are covering the food sector enterprises. So this particular scheme, Gram Samriddhi Yojana, says कि जो food processing sector that is concentrated in rural areas, let us focus on them. Let us focus on the unorganized food processing unit in the rural areas, and it is a fact that about 66% of the unorganized food processing unit in the rural areas are being run by the family and 80% of them are run by the family, right? So you can say that this particular yojana is basically this particular yojana का जो objective है, it is to bolster the unorganized food processing sector but in rural areas. And what will it lead to? It will lead to employment opportunities. It will lead to doubling the farmers' income. It will help the food sector enterprises in rural areas. It will be a game changer for the other industries in enterprises, the small enterprises, the cottage enterprises in the rural areas. It will help them to locally produce products, packaging them, marketing them. So all these are the objectives that are covered under Gram Samriddhi Yojana. The year that in which this particular Yojana was launched is 2019. So please do remember that 2019 is the launch year, right? So here what will happen? The scheme is basically taking cluster level approach, जहाँ पर various food processing units जो होंगे, they will be helped. कैसे? विद द मॉडर्न इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. आप वहाँ पर फूड प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट्स, उनकी टेक्नोलॉजी को अपग्रेड करेंगे, मैनेजमेंट को इम्प्रूव करेंगे, यू विल गिव देम द टेक्निकल सपोर्ट एंड ऑल्सो यू विल प्रोवाइड द कॉमन फैसिलिटी सेंटर्स, राइट? सो द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट ऑफ दिस स्कीम इज दैट वर्ल्ड बैंक विल बी गिविंग 1500 crore. प्लीज डू रिमेंबर and 1,000 crore will be borne by the center, and while the state government will put in rupees 500 crore. Important part. And the next important part is कि initially अभी क्या होता है ना, when a scheme is in phases, तो आप initially आप इंडिया के किसी सेक्टर किसी पार्ट में उसको implement करते हो. If it goes well, then you take it to the entire country and you replicate in other states also. For that matter, this particular scheme, okay, which particular scheme I'm talking about, please write it down in the chat section. Which particular scheme I'm talking about? Mention the name of the scheme that I am discussing. कभी कभार क्या होता है, स्कीम तो चल रही होती है लेकिन we don't know कि स्कीम का नाम क्या था, वो ही भूल जाते हैं. So please write down the name of the scheme that we are covering here. First of all, write down the name of the scheme. Everybody, I want your answers in the chat section. Hurry up. Okay, I have received an answer from HJ, from Shubham, from Nitin, from Rakesh. It is not Pradhan Mantri Jan Samriddhi Yojana. It is Gram Samriddhi Yojana. Absolutely right. It is Gram Samriddhi Yojana, and this particular Yojana in its initial phase is will be run in several you can say states. The name of the states are Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra and Punjab for a 5-year period, right? So can you please tell me when was Gram Samriddhi Yojana launched? In which year this Yojana was launched, the Gram Samriddhi Yojana? 2019. Okay, Rakesh has given the answer very fast. Then Ajay, Devendra, Nitin, everyone is right. 2019 is absolutely the right answer. So Gram Samriddhi Yojana is launched by which ministry? Which is the ministry associated with Gram Samriddhi Yojana? Hurry up. What is the ministry that is associated with Gram Samriddhi Yojana? Can you please mention the name of ministry? Ministry of Food Processing. Absolutely right. Okay, how much amount is being given by the World Bank? How much amount is being given by the World Bank? World Bank is giving 1,500 crore. Okay. Are you sure, everyone? So 1,000 crore is being given by the 1,000 crore will be given by the center or the state government? 1,500 crore is absolutely the right answer. 1,000 crore is given by the center or the state government? It is Government of India. Center, absolutely right. And what about the state? State governments are giving how much amount? They will put in how much amount in this particular Yojana? 500 from the state government. Absolutely right. And my statement to you is that this particular Yojana is to bolster the unorganized food processing sector in the rural as well as urban areas. Is this statement right? Is this statement right? That this particular Yojana is concentrated for both the rural as well as urban areas? Nitish, you are right. It is 500 crore by states. My next question, please answer. Okay, so I have received 2 to 3 answers from Nitin, Devendra, Shubham that it is only the rural areas, and HJ also. Yes, it is only for rural areas, not for urban areas. Okay, last question from this particular scheme. Is Punjab included in its initial phase? Is Punjab is one such state that is included in the initial phase of the scheme? Yes or no? Yes or no? Included? Yes, absolutely right. Punjab is also one such state that is included. Moving to the next scheme, that is Operation Green. Operation Green, simply what it means, I'll let you know. ये aim and objective जो आपको इतना सारा यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ नजर आ रहा है, rather than just reading on to the lines, I prefer that simply I'll explain you what Operation Green is. If you understand Operation Green, these lines will be easy for you. You can read it by yourself also. Operation Green is saying कि there is a supply of TOP. T stands for tomato, O stands for onion, and P stands for potato, right? So Operation Green wants to stabilize the supply of tomato, onions, and potatoes, these particular crops only for the initial phase, right? Key, let us enhance the value realization of these top crops for the farmers. Let us strengthen them. Let us make sure that we have that much of storage capacity area for these particular crops. Let us reduce the post-harvest loss of the farmers by creating better infrastructure, better agro-logistics, better storage capacity, and the consumption standards also. Let us make a proper planning in the TOP clusters. TOP means tomato, onion, and potato clusters. And let us introduce various dual use of these varieties. Let us link the farmer producer organizations, the cluster, the production, and connect them with the market. Let us make an intelligence network that will help to collect the real-time data. What is the demand? What is the supply? What is the price of all the crops? Right? So this much is the objective of Operation Green. Operation Green was launched in 2018. Please do remember that it was launched in 2018. And this scheme later on was extended in June 2020. And in June 2020, Operation Green included all the fruits and vegetables also for a period of next 6 months as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. But initially, this scheme was to stabilize the supply of tomato, onions and potato crops, and rest what all other the objectives are वो मैंने आपको सारा इसमें explain कर दिया है. Price stabilization, reducing the losses, agri logistics, value addition, increasing the food processing capacities, and making an intelligence network, right? So the next question that can be asked is regarding the implementation. The nodal agency that is related to implementation is National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India, basically Marketing Federation of India, that is NAFED. It will be the nodal agency. Now the features of this scheme are, there are two kind of measures, short-term measures and long-term measures. In short-term measures, the food processing industry will provide 50% of the subsidy on the two components. Though components are that are very important, that is our short term price stabilization measures. कि आपको क्या करना है in these two components, transportation of top crops, production से लेकर storage तक का transportation, this is one component. 50% subsidy will be given on it. Hiring of the appropriate, now you also need storage facilities for these crops. So hiring of the appropriate storage facilities, it is also a short-term measure for price stabilization where the ministry will be providing 50% of the subsidy. Rest are the long-term. Long-term means जहाँ पर you will be building the capacity of farmer producer organizations, you will increase their quality production, you will ensure a demand and supply management. जितना demand उतनी supply, एक platform होना चाहिए for where you can properly manage the demand and supply. You need to make more marketing points. You need to have proper, better agricultural logistics. You need to have post-harvest processing facilities. So all these are the long-term value chain development part points, components. Right. So my question to you is that Operation Green, listen to me very carefully. Operation Green is basically scheme that operation for providing financial, technical and business support for upgrading the micro food processing enterprises. Is this statement right? I have just asked a simple statement that Operation Green is to provide the financial assistance to the micro food processing enterprises. Yes or no? Is this the aim of this particular scheme? Nitin? Okay, everybody is saying wrong. So Nitin, why are you saying yes for this particular statement? Absolutely no. Then what is the right answer? What is the right one? Let me take you to the right statement. Operation Green is to stabilize the supply of certain crops. Can you please mention the name of the crops? It aims to stabilize the supply of certain crops. Can you please mention the name of crops? Tomato, onion and potato. Absolutely right. And when was this Operation Green launched? In which year this particular operation was launched? In which year? Rakesh is saying 2018. Nitin, Ajay, everybody is saying 2018, and 2018 is absolutely the right answer. My next question to you is that can you please let me know how much percentage of subsidy is being given on the hiring of appropriate storage facilities for top crops? Can you please mention the percentage, the subsidy that is being provided by the ministry for hiring of appropriate storage facilities for the top crops? 10%, 20%, 30%, 40% or 50%? Nitin is saying 50%, Devendra is saying 50%. What about others? Anybody else who want to make a try, who want to guess it? 50% is absolutely the right answer. Manish, I have already asked the launch year of this particular question. I am asking regarding the percentage. It is not 35%, it is 50%. Okay, can you please tell me the launch year of Gram Samriddhi Yojana? Can you please tell me the launch year of Gram Samriddhi Yojana? I have received only one answer. 2019, absolutely right. So let us have a look over the next particular Yojana that is in front of you is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, PMKSY. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. So what this particular Yojana is all for? Let us have a look for it. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana was launched in 2018 under the Ministry of Food Processing Industry. It is a central sector scheme, first of all, please do remember. And basically, Kisan Sampada. Sampada is what? Sampada stands for a scheme for agro-marine processing and development of agro-processing clusters. Simple point is, making it very simple, you need to decrease this particular Yojana says, let us decrease the agriculture waste, let us supplement the agriculture, let us make modernized processing units, let us increase the efficiency, let us of the management, supply chain management, जहाँ पर फार्म के गेट से जो प्रोडक्ट निकला और वो लास्ट तक पहुंचा रिटेल आउटलेट तक, तो सप्लाई चेन की मैनेजमेंट जो है उसको स्ट्रेंथन करना, प्रोवाइडिंग देम बेटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, making sure that you boost up the food processing sector in the country, making sure that you provide better prices to the farmers for helping them to double their income, making sure that you are creating enough employment opportunities, especially in rural areas, and reducing the agricultural wastage produce, right? Increasing the processing level. This all enhancing the export of the processed food. जो आपका processed food है, आप उसके export को enhance करें, आप consumers को affordable price जो है वो provide करें. You also help in reducing the wastage of agricultural produce, and rest all I have taken. Right. So this is the simple objective of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, which was launched in 2018 under the Ministry of Food Processing and Industry. So this particular scheme, this particular Yojana is an umbrella scheme, right? Umbrella scheme is such scheme that incorporates certain other ongoing schemes, जिसके अंदर you can say there are various schemes जो कि simply basically they are dealing with the logistics part. Some schemes are there for the ministry that are for the food parks. Some are for ensuring better infrastructure. Some are for ensuring the food quality, basically you can say food safety and quality. Some are for providing the better linkages backward and forward. Some are for expansioning the food processing and capacity. So there are different ongoing schemes. This particular Yojana is an umbrella scheme that is incorporating all other ongoing schemes of the ministry. So very simple, कोई rocket science नहीं है, बहुत ही easy था. And please do tell me, when was this Yojana launched? When was this Yojana launched? In which year? 2018. Is decreasing the agricultural waste one of the objective of this particular Yojana? Yes or no? Is decreasing agricultural waste one of the objective of this particular Yojana? Yes, absolutely right. What S stands for? PMKSY. What S stands for? What S stands for? Simply what S stands for? It is Pradhan Mantri. K stands for Kisan. What S stands for in this particular Yojana? S stands for scheme. It is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Scheme Yojana. Nitin? Okay, rest I have received 2 answers from HJ and Shubham. It is Sampada. Absolutely right. Pradhan Mantri Kisan, S stands for Sampada. So moving with the next part. Okay, when was Operation Green launched? In which year? In which year Operation Green was launched? In which year Operation Green was launched? याद है पीछे वाली scheme I have अभी discussed. In which year Operation Green was launched? 2018. Can anybody tell me the nodal agency that is implementing this basically Operation Green? Is it FSSAI? Anybody can please give me an answer in the chat section. Which particular nodal agency is implementing this scheme for price stabilization? First of all, the Mayank, the scheme is not basically related to Agricultural Ministry. This particular scheme is basically the under the Ministry of Food Processing Industry. And my second question is, okay, I have received answers from 3 and they are absolutely right. It is National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India. Absolutely right. So moving swiftly to the next particular initiative, that is Nivesh Bandhu, right? What is Nivesh Bandhu now? Nivesh karna means invest karna, right? To invest. Who will invest? Investor will invest. This particular basically Nivesh Bandhu is a portal. This is a portal. What is for? What it is for? This portal is basically for assisting the investors जो निवेश करना चाहते हैं, the one who wants to invest. So this portal is to assist the investors so that they can, जब आप invest करोगे, you are investing in any you can say domain, any area. आप invest करने से पहले you need to have all the decisions ना. You need to have all the informed decisions. You need to have all the you can say information of the policies, investor friendly policies. जहाँ पर भी आप invest करना चाहते हो, वैसे पहले आपको उसके बारे में मालूम होना चाहिए. All the points for that. This portal is dealing with such points. This portal is saying, let us assist the investors. If one wants to invest, they need to have an informed decision. That is why this portal will provide the information on all the central and the state government investor friendly policies, agro producing clusters, infrastructure, or whatever the potential areas are कि आप कहाँ पर invest कर सकते हो, right? So this particular portal का objective है to accomplish the government's mission, that is one nation, one food law. This particular portal, Nivesh Bandhu, it is being jointly launched by the ministry and FSSAI. Right, so here it is a single interface जहाँ पर you are catering to domestic operations and the food imports also. Very simple one. This particular tool is being efficiently used for management, for food safety standards, for testing, for basically for codifying the food sector, hassle-free food imports, and also government policies को आप recognize कर सकते हो कहाँ पर, what are the potential areas, what how you can take an informed decision. So you can say all in all that Nivesh Bandhu is one such portal that is helping the investors to make informed investment decisions. This particular portal was launched in 2017. Can you please tell me the implementation, the one who is implementing it? Nivesh Bandhu is being jointly launched by the Ministry of the Food Processing Industry, and the other part is? The other part is FSSAI. Okay, absolutely right, HJ and Nitin. What about others? Shubham, Manish, Mayank, Nitish, Rahul, Devendra, Rakesh. Absolutely right. My simple question to you is, can you please tell me, just a second. Yeah. So in Gram Samriddhi Yojana, what is the amount that state is basically providing? The state will be giving how much amount in Gram Samriddhi Yojana? 500 crore, 600 crore, 700 or 800 crore? $500 crore, absolutely right. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana was launched in 2019. Is the statement right? 500 crore is the exact amount, Abhishek, not 5 crore. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana was launched in 2018 or 2019? In which year? Nitin, it was not launched in 2020, bache. When was Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana launched? An umbrella scheme that was for supplementing the agricultural, modernizing the processing and decreasing the agricultural waste. This particular Yojana was launched by food processing industry. I just want to know what was the launch year. Nitin, this is the same scheme where you give me an answer while I asked ki S stands for what, and you said S stands for scheme. I hope now you are not confused ki what particular Yojana I am asking for. 2018 is absolutely the right answer. 2019 में ये scheme launch नहीं हुई है. It is launched in 2018. Clear? Clear, everyone? So here I end the today's lecture, where I have covered several schemes that are associated. Please do have a revision. एक बार simply आप revision करेंगे तो it will be very easy for you. बस you just need a revision, otherwise things are very clear to you. जितना revise करोगे, your confusion will get away. Right? Thank you everyone. Wish you all a very best of luck. Please do like this session if you like learning from me, and as well as if you want to basically study more, you can join the paid course where I am taking all the government schemes and a mock test also. With every 2 lectures of government schemes that I take, then I have a mock test where we solve different questions associated with the schemes that we covered in the previous 2 lectures. That is all in the paid course. You can visit the Oliveboard site, or you can download the app for further information, and rest everything is also provided to you in the description box. Thank you everyone. Take care. Good luck, good wishes. Happy learning.